Welcome everybody to the MLB Pick'em Show. This is the show where I go over each MLB game on the MLB slate and give you my lean for each game. And I give you my games that I'm actually going to be betting on myself. You can find those in the pinned comments down below in the comments section. As always, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. We deeply appreciate it. It's the best way to help out the channel. But smash that like button, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we post our next video. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started for the MLB games on September 8th, 2023. First off, on the MLB slate, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks going against the Chicago Cubs. Zach Gallen on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Jamison Tyone for the Cubs. I'm going to go with the over 7. I think this is an easy pick. This is a 5-star pick for me, so this is a top of the line bet. This is something that I'm going to put some money down on. Probably just a unit, but it's well worth my time. It's well worth your time if you're looking to make some money, that is. I think this is a place where you can make some money. This line's way too low. I guess it's because Zach Gallen's on the mound. Jamison Tyone, not a bad pitcher, had a decent year. But again, nothing to write home about. Zach Gallen, in his last 2 starts, has been pedestrian. And that's stating it nicely. I actually put some money on him a couple different times when he's been on the mound. I believe against the Braves, once against the Dodgers. Could be wrong about the Braves, though, but I know the Dodgers for certain. At any rate, he let me down, dropped the ball, and the Arizona Diamondbacks end up losing both of those games that I betted on the Diamondbacks winning. So with that being said, it's not like this is a grudge or anything on Zach Gallen. I think he's going to give up at least a couple runs, 3 runs. The Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen is not the best. The Cubs have a better bullpen, but I got it over 7, and I think I got that as a 5-star. Next up on the board, we got the Chicago White Sox going up against the Detroit Tigers. Mike Clevenger on the mound for the White Sox. Reese Olson for the Tigers. I'm going to go with the Tigers on the money line at minus 142. Average price. I just can't take the White Sox here with Mike Clevenger on the mound. Not that he's pitching horrible. He actually, he did give up 8 runs in his last outing. Before that, he was pitching okay. He pitches just about as good on the road as he does at home. What I don't like about the White Sox in this game is when Reese Olson gets into trouble, it's when he is giving up walks. Now, the White Sox over the last month are one of the worst teams at drawing walks in the major leagues. They are hitting a little bit better than the Tigers are, but when it comes to BABIP, which is the ability of a team to hit balls within the park, so not home runs and things of that sort, the Detroit Tigers are a little bit better, and that's something that Mike Clevenger can kind of get in trouble with, is giving up base hits. Now, he does give up home runs, but he gives up a lot of base hits and draws a lot of base runners, and that's how he gives up a lot of his runs. But so I like the Tigers in this one. I like them at on the money line. This is not one of my favorite picks. I believe I'm giving this 3 out of 5 stars, 2 out of 5 stars. It's not a game that I'm probably going to bet on, but I would take the Tigers in this one. All right, next up on the slate, we got the Seattle Mariners going up against the Tampa Bay Rays. George Kirby on the mound for the Mariners, Taj Bradley for the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm going to have to go with the Mariners again on the money line. Not trying to hate on the Tampa Bay Rays at all. Not trying to hate on Taj Bradley. He is not my favorite pitcher on this team. He is a guy that gives up a ton of walks. Now, Seattle is a team that takes walks at probably about average in the major league in the major leagues. George Kirby, on the other hand, he's a guy that is a kind of a strikeout dependent pitcher. He is able to, if he is able to strike out guys, then his stuff is on. When he's not able to, he's usually giving up some hits. He's not a guy that gives up a lot of home runs, not a guy that gives up a lot of walks, so he's not going to draw base runners through that particular avenue, but he's going to give up base hits. Now, that's something that Tampa Bay is actually good at doing. Their BABIP is close to top in the league. over the last month. It has dropped a little bit over the past couple weeks. But what I can see here is maybe the Mariners getting some guys on base through walks, maybe a couple hits, and then maybe giving up that one home run that Taj Bradley seems to give up each game. He usually gives up at least one home run each outing. So I see that being enough in this game for the Mariners to take this W, and I actually like it because it's a good price, minus 108 at Bet Rivers, and you can get the Mariners on the money line. I give this 4 out of 5 stars. I like it. All right, next up on the slate, it's the St. Louis Cardinals going up against the Cincinnati Reds. It's a battle of two NL Central teams. Cardinals are in the cellar, and the Reds are still battling for a playoff spot, mostly just a wild card spot, but they are very much in the race. With that being said, I like the Reds in this game. I like them on the money line, and I think it would be even reasonable to sprinkle a little bit on the run line, minus 1.5. Drew Rom is a guy that's been called up, 23-year-old. He has not pitched well. He has pitched even worse on the road than he is at home. Andrew Abbott, on the other hand, is pitched much better at Great American Ballpark, which is not a pitcher-friendly ballpark, very much a hitter-friendly ballpark. So I think the Reds are playing for more at this time. I think Andrew Abbott is the better pitcher. I think the Reds also had the better bullpen. But I would also look at the under in this game, and the reason being that both of these teams are hitting abysmal against left-handed pitching, which both of these pitchers are. Now, I don't trust Drew Rom to throw a gem or anything like that. Same with Andrew Abbott, but I trust Andrew Abbott more than I do Rom, being that he does have really, really good numbers at home. I believe he has a 180 batting average at home against all opponents, and that's over a course of 50.2 innings pitched. So Andrew Abbott is much better at home than he is on the road. The Reds are playing for something. The Cardinals seem to have packed it in, phoned it in, and with that being said, I like the Reds on the money line. I also like the under in this game. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers going up against the Washington Nationals. Emmett Sheehan on the mound for the Dodgers. Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals. Looking at this game, definitely not my favorite game on the board. Probably one you want to stick away from. And there's a number of reasons for that. I think the Nationals have a good chance of winning this game. I wouldn't say it's 50-50. I'd say it's closer to 60-40. I still like the Dodgers on the money line. That would be my final pick. Emmett Sheehan, he is a young pitcher, recently called up. Not a lot of starts. I think he has 5 or 6 starts behind his, on his resume. But he is not pitched well on the road, but only over 13.2 innings pitched, giving up a 339 batting average on the road. Been much better at home. But that was in his first couple starts. Since that time, I think he's had 3 to 4 starts where he's pitched pretty well. His issue has been giving up the home runs. The reason why I'm not going with the Nationals is because the Nationals have not been hitting home runs against right-handed pitching over the past month or the past 2 weeks. Mackenzie Gore, on the other hand, he's a decent left-handed pitching. He's been inconsistent this year, but he does things that the Dodgers do well, or the things that he does poorly is what the Dodgers do well. So I could easily see the Dodgers getting on him. And with that being said, Emmett Sheehan's probably only going to pitch 4 to 4.5 innings, and then the best bullpen in the major leagues is kind of come into the game and take over. And, that's the other reason why I'm taking the Dodgers on the money line here. The Washington Nationals do not have a great bullpen, certainly not as good as the Dodgers. So in a game where I feel like, maybe you should stick away from it, I would take the Dodgers on the money line as the safest pick, best risk reward. Next up, we got the Miami Marlins going up against the Philadelphia Phillies. Yuri Perez on the mound for the Marlins. Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies. I like the Phillies in this one. I also like the over in this one. Tough tough game to pick. But with the price here, I actually think it's a 4 out of 5 star pick. And I'll tell you the reason why. Yuri Perez does not pitch good on the road. Now, I like what I've seen out of Yuri Perez. His strikeout numbers have been very good over his last 3 starts. His last start, he got roughed up a little bit by the Nationals, but in his previous 2 starts before that, 7 strikeouts against the Washington Nationals, 10 strikeouts against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Very impressive start. So I like Yuri Perez. I just don't like how he's pitched on the road. Christopher Sanchez, on the other hand, I don't like how he's pitched at home. But it's been a little bit better than Yuri Perez has been on the road. Christopher Sanchez, in his own right, has been pretty steady over the past 4 to 5 starts. What he's done really well over his last 3 starts is limit the walks and limit home runs. However, he has gave up a home run in each of his last 2 starts. He's been steady. Phillies have the better bullpen. The Miami Marlins don't have a slouch of a bullpen. It's just the Phillies have a better bullpen. Also, the Phillies have been smashing the stitches off the ball over the past couple weeks, over the past month. They're playing really good baseball. So are the Marlins for that matter. So this really is a toss-up game. I just like the Phillies a little bit better, but also take a look at that over as well. I like this as a 4 out of 5 star pick. I don't know if I'm going to be putting money on it. Keep an eye on the pinned comment. So next up, it's the Milwaukee Brewers going up against the New York Yankees. We got Colin Rea on the mound for the Brewers, Luis Severino for the Yankees. I'm going to go with the Yankees on the money line. The Yankees obviously have not had the best season. Luis Severino has not had the best year. However, he is trying to get it back together here over his last 4 to 5 starts. He's pitched quite a bit better, not giving up as many home runs, not giving up as many walks, and not giving up as many runs altogether. Colin Rea, on the other hand, is not a bad pitcher. He's pretty consistent. He usually gets the job done. Now, he can give up some runs every now and then, and he does that by way of the long ball, which, of course, the Yankees against right-handed pitching are above average, top third in the league over the last month, over the last 2 weeks in particular. So I like the Yankees to get on top of Colin Rea, maybe hit a couple out of the park, put some runs on the board. They have a good bullpen. So does the Brewers. So I could easily see this game going underneath the 9-run mark as well. But that one I'm not as fond of. I'm not going to put that on the board. Rather, I like the Yankees on the money line. Colin Rea does not pitch well on the road, and Severino pitches much better at home. And for that matter, the Milwaukee Brewers are not hitting well against right-handed pitching at all this season. And not that the Yankees are as well, but they're hitting better than the Milwaukee Brewers. Yankees on the money line. Next up, we have the Kansas City Royals going up against the Toronto Blue Jays. Colin Snyder on the mound for the Royals. And for the Toronto Blue Jays, it's Yusei Kikuchi. This is a bullpen game for the Kansas City Royals, and by golly, they do not have a good bullpen. One of the worst in the league, as measured by ERA, FIP, and expected FIP. Yusei Kikuchi, really over the second half of the year, has been one of the hottest pitchers in the major leagues. Good strikeout numbers, a pitcher that has been getting the job done, not giving up a ton of home runs, not giving up a ton of walks. And the Toronto Blue Jays have been crushing the ball right now, especially against left-handed pitching. They've been doing a pretty good job against right-handed pitching. And they're just a hotter team. They're the team that's playing meaningful baseball at this time of the year. They'll take the Toronto Blue Jays. I'll take them on the run line, minus 1.5. However, with the price that you're getting at negative 115, not even plus money on the run line, it's not one of my favorite picks. So I'll give it a 2-star out of 5-star pick. But I think the Toronto Blue Jays are definitely going to win this game. So Toronto on the run line. Next up, we got the Baltimore Orioles going up against the Boston Red Sox. Take the Orioles on the money line. This is really a toss-up game as well. Kyle Bradish on the mound for the Orioles. Tanner Hewitt for the Red Sox. The main reason I go with the Baltimore Orioles, I like Kyle Bradish a little bit more than I like Tanner Hewitt as a starting pitcher. I think Baltimore's hitting a little bit better against right-handed pitching, and they have the better bullpen. So that really sums it up, and it gives you a reason why when I look at this game, I just look at the Orioles. I say, okay, at this point in the season, they're 7-3. They always seem to be 7-3, the Orioles. So they're always playing above average baseball. Now, the Red Sox, on the other hand, they're floundering going into the end of this season. It's another lost season for the Red Sox, a team in a city and an organization that expects to win every year. They've, kind of been towards the bottom of the AL East the last 2 to 3 seasons, and really not meeting expectations of that ball club. But Orioles, on the other hand, they're overachieving, and I like what they're doing. They've been one of the most profitable teams in the major leagues. From a betting standpoint this year, I think they're the most profitable. So I'll take the Baltimore Orioles, take them on the money line, and I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars in that area, just because it really is a toss-up game between these two clubs. But Baltimore definitely with the advantage. Baltimore on the money line. All right, next up we got the Pittsburgh Pirates going up against the Atlanta Braves. Mitch Keller on the mound for the Pirates, Bryce Elder for the Braves. Let's go with the under 9.5. I know this is going to blow up in my face. As I'm recording this, I'm taking a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Cubs, which I of course picked under 7, and now both the pitchers are pitching basically no hitters. I think they both might be pitching no hitters. Every time I pick a under, it always goes over. Every time I pick over, it always goes under. So these are I'd rather pick a side than pick a bet on the total. But for this one, it's almost impossible to find value in this game. You could go with the Braves on the run line at minus 105. Not bad. Could go with the Pirates on the run line. I'm going to take the under 9.5. Mitch Keller, talk about another guy who's really turned around his season. Pitt started off, gangbusters, pitching really, really well. And then around a little bit after the All-Star break, after he gave up, I think, a run at the All-Star game, really, really struggled, giving up a bunch of runs, getting hit really, really hard. And then probably over the last month and a half, turned around a season again. Good strikeout numbers, keeping the home runs down, not walking a bunch of guys, and of course that showed up on the stat sheet where he's pitched a lot better, and he's actually been one of the best pitchers over the last month and a half in the major leagues. Bryce Elder really has been pitching well as well, and that's why I'm looking at the under in this. Now, of course, anytime you have the Braves and you're picking the under, people are going to think you're crazy, but the Pittsburgh Pirates are not hitting well against right-handed pitching, not hitting well against anyone right now. They have a decent bullpen. So does Atlanta. Now, Atlanta is always hitting good against right-handed pitching, but it's a little bit less than what you've seen, in previous periods during the season for the Atlanta Braves against right-handed pitching. So, they're home run dependent right now, the Braves, and Mitch Keller is not giving up a lot of home runs. Now, he could always give up 3-4 home runs in this game, and he probably will, now that I'm saying good things about him. But let's go with the under 9.5. Not my favorite pick on the board. Give it 3 out of 5 stars, 3 out of 5 balls, whatever you want to say, however you want to term it. At any rate, I'm going to go with the under 9.5 and roll with it. All right, next up we got the Oakland Athletics going up against the Texas Rangers. You have Paul Blackburn on the mound for the A's, and for the Texas Rangers, you have Jordan Montgomery. I'm going to take a shot with the A's in this one. The Texas Rangers have not been the same Texas Rangers from earlier in the season, and really just a month ago. They've been kind of lagging along here. And Jordan Montgomery, he's a solid pitcher, but he's been kind of inconsistent over his past 4 to 5 starts since he's really become a Texas Ranger. And just looking at the lines here, I think it's worth a gamble to take the A's in that plus money, plus 210. This is a big balls pick of the day, folks. If I didn't say it before, this is no doubt the big balls pick of the day. Okay, so my ball system, my 5 balls. This is a 5-ball pick. and it's the big ball pick. So without a doubt, you got to have big balls to take this one. This isn't if you're some type of you know coward or something. You're not gonna be taking the A's on the money line. But and I don't know if I'm gonna be taking the A's on the money line. But I may just do it. I think I got big enough balls, but we'll see. At any rate, A's on the money line. I just like them. I like the way Paul Blackburn's been pitching. The A's do not have a good bullpen. I mean, you would probably want to look at the total on this one. So let's go with the A's on the money line and the over on this game, and that's the big balls pick of the day, folks. Next up, it's the New York Mets going up against the Minnesota Twins. Kodai Senga on the mound for the Mets and Dallas Keuchel on the mound for the Twins. Let's go with the over 8.5 in this game. I think both teams are hitting well. The Mets against left-handed pitching. Dallas Keuchel, he's pitched pretty well. He did give a couple home runs in his last game. If he pitches similarly, the Mets are a team that can hit it out the park. They're a team that draw a lot of walks. And a team that can get base runners on the path against right-handed pitching. On the other hand, against left-handed pitching. On the other hand, you got the Minnesota Twins that are crushing right-handed pitching. So it's really a matchup of a hitter's matchup. Okay, and I like the over in this game. The bullpens, they're just okay for both of these clubs. Actually, Minnesota has a really good bullpen. The Mets have a decent bullpen themselves. But with that being said, I do see the over hitting on this one. Yeah, actually, the Minnesota bullpen has been a little bit crappy over the past couple weeks. Same with the New York bullpen. So, with that being said, I like it even more. I knew there was a reason why I liked the over in this game. The bullpens suck, and the starting pitchers, although they pitch pretty good, Senga more than Keuchel. Both of these teams are hitting pretty well, and so let's go with the over 8.5. Next up, we got the San Diego Padres going up against the Houston Astros. Blake Snell on the mound for the Padres. For the Houston Astros, we got Hunter Brown, the rookie. So Blake Snell is having a Cy Young caliber type of season, pitching really, really good baseball. Hunter Brown, on the other hand, is been consistent, what you would expect from a rookie pitcher. I like the Padres on the money line on this one. And again, this is going out on a limb. The Padres have not been good this year. They've underachieved by any stretch of the imagination. It's been one of the biggest disappointments, really not only this year, but last year as well. But last year they made the playoffs. It doesn't look like they're going to make the playoffs this year. But I do see Blake Snell coming through. I mean, he's just been dominant. And I'd love to see it too, because, he's had a few rough seasons coming off that Cy Young season, and I believe it was either 2018 or 2019. It's been a while now since that Cy Young season for Blake Snell. Going into his free agent year, no surprise there. He's really gotten it together and pitched well this year. So Hunter Brown, he's not pitched well at home, and Blake Snell, although he's a little bit better at home, he's been pretty much consistent either away or on the road. Now, the Astros are the number one hitting team against left-handed pitching in the major leagues over the last month, over the last 2 weeks. So this can go the other way. There's no doubt about that. But I have to pick some underdogs on this best bet show, and this is one of the ones that I like. But again, this is going out on a limb, and it could go the other way. But I'll take the Padres, and I'll take them on the money line at plus money. All right, second to last game, we have the Cleveland Guardians going up against the Los Angeles Angels. Logan Allen on the mound for the Guardians. Griffin Cannon for the Angels. I'm going to go with the Angels on the money line, plus money. Not sure why the Guardians are favorites in this game, and the Angels obviously underdogs. Griffin Canning has been lights out, really. If you look at his log over the past however many starts, he's really only given up 1 to 2 runs each game. I mean, he's been pitching really, really well over his last 3 starts to really his last 6 or 7 starts, where he's only given up 4 runs once, 2 runs twice, and then 1 run 3 different times. And he is a strikeout dependent pitcher, which that's not what the Guardians do a lot of. But the Guardians are not hitting well against right-handed pitching. Obviously, they're not hitting good against left-handed pitching. The Guardians are in really a lull after the trade deadline, where they gave up guys like Ahmad Rosario. They gave up Aaron Savali, Josh Bell, so on and so forth. They packed it in, and the organization gave them the message that, hey, we're not gonna compete this year. We're really just gonna compete for next year or the years after that, whatever it may be. But how do you keep your morale up as an organization, as a baseball club, when the brass, the front office, is sending that type of message? And really, it's ownership that's sending that message. I'm a Cleveland Guardians fan, always have been. Love that team. Hope they win a World Series before I'm dead. But in this particular game, I'm going to take the Angels on the money line at plus money. All right, last up on the slate, it's the Colorado Rockies going up against the San Francisco Giants. Ty Blach on the mound for the Rockies. Kyle Harrison for the Giants. This is a game I'd stick away from. Not a big fan of this game. This is a game that could go over, it can go under. I'm going to go with the Giants on the run line minus 1.5. Kyle Harrison, I like him a lot more than I like Ty Blach. Ty Blach has been a little bit better on the road, but that's not anything to be surprised about, because the Rockies play at Coors Field with the thin air. The balls just fly out of the park. So usually pitchers do have worse numbers at Coors Field. But Kyle Harrison, you know what? I like this guy as a young up-and-coming pitcher. And I like the Giants a little bit better against left-handed pitching. I like their bullpen a little bit better than the Rockies. Rockies' bullpen is atrocious. It's no good. It stinks. And, both of these teams are not really my favorite, but the Giants definitely playing better. They just get the job done somehow. But I'll take the Giants on the run line, and I'll call that a day. All right, that's it, folks. Thanks for listening in. As always, please consider subscribing to the channel. Helps me out a lot. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Smash that like button and hit that notification bell. And we'll see you next time. Good luck to everyone. Have a good weekend. And adios.